So judging from this episode, I do think the Slytherins and the Ravenclaws are better at talking through the answers and talking about the answers than the Gryffindors and the Hufflepuffs were, and I think that's why this one made for a little bit of a less boring episode. But yeah, so this is the episode that I got to be a part of, that I got to be in the audience for. The other one, the Gryffindor versus Hufflepuff one, I didn't get to see film. I did get to see this one get filmed though, and that was really cool. So we were sitting in the back for like the first half of the filming, in the back top right hand side, all the way in the corner. But halfway through filming, because filming ran so late, they moved us to the very, very front of the audience. And yeah, we got to sit like at the very, very front, which was like amazing for me because I could see better, because I am like literally legally blind. So like I could actually see what was going on onto the stage, as opposed from being all the way in the back of the audience. So it's cool that we were right there. So it was me and my two sisters, and then there was a camera like right there, like a couple feet away from us, like facing us. And I was just like, oh, this is how we're gonna get on film. Like, this is how we're gonna get on screen. Like, this camera's gonna get us. You know, like, so it did. While we were sitting in that section in the very, very front row on the right hand side in the corner. It's during the last word section where Jay Leno was asking this question about Dumbledore's hair shining as brightly as the ghosts. And then they cut to the audience answering the questions, and then they cut to me and my sister. My sister has silver hair. So she's sitting next to me, and I'm like, that's so funny. They probably cut to her because of her white silver hair. So they cut to me and my sister, and we're answering the questions on the thingy. I was like, wah! There's my 15 seconds of it. I was so excited. So they cut to us like for a good like second and a half, and like they did it like maybe 2 or 3 times, and like that's a lot of time for TV to be cutting to us. So it was me and my one sister made it into the episode. My other sister that was sitting on this side of me, I was blocking her, so she didn't get to make it into the episode. So that sucks for her, but I'm excited that I got to make it into the episode. You can see me voting on my voting device, taking it real seriously. It's not fucking around. When I was voting for those answers, I was taking it real seriously because I wanted Slytherin to win. And we didn't win, but that's okay. But yeah, being on this episode and then making it into the episode, that was fun. That was exciting. And I can't wait for the next episode, because obviously Slytherin versus Gryffindor, I'm in that one too. So with this episode, I'm sitting somewhere in the middle, closer to the front. Maybe like the 3rd or 4th row from the front. Right in the middle. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna make it like have close-ups of me like in the episode, but I'm hoping so. If you look for me, I'm wearing a flower in my ear, so maybe that can be like a good marker to spot me in the audience. So what did you guys think of the last episode of Tournament of Houses with Slytherin versus Ravenclaw? Like, now that I've seen the final edited version, it's definitely different from the Hufflepuff and Gryffindor episode. This one felt a little bit more like there was a little bit more of a flow, which was interesting because it was both filmed in the same day. And I don't know if it was just like the editing that played a big part into how the episodes felt, or if it was just like the contestants and like what the contestants were giving off in each episode. Because in this one it felt a little bit more cohesive, and it felt a little bit more competitive. And like I said in the other one, and I'm not being biased, okay? I'm not. I felt like the Gryffindor and Hufflepuff episode was a little bit boring. But then at the same time, I can't tell if the Ravenclaw and Slytherin episode was boring or not, because it was not boring to me because I was there. So, you know, like I have an attachment to the episodes. I don't know, like I don't have like an unbiased opinion of the episodes. I want to know what you guys have to say about the episode, because from my perspective, it's biased. Slytherin versus Ravenclaw was better than Hufflepuff versus Gryffindor episode. And like, it is what it is. Like, that's how I feel. From the perspective of being in the audience and filming the episode, it seemed like the Slytherins and the Ravenclaws are very well spoken. So honestly, my first impressions of the contestants were, these people have got to be actors. Like that's just my honest opinion. Like, that's just like my honest first impression of the episode, and I was just like, oh my god, like how are they so good at this? Like, they just seemed really good at answering the questions and deducting the answers and talking it out, because as you could tell from the previous episodes, the Gryffindors and the Slytherins, the Gryffindors and the Hufflepuffs struggled a little bit with talking out the answers. Like, let me tell you, that shit's hard. Like, they were telling me to do that during my video interview, and when you know the question off the bat, like when you know the answer off the bat, it's hard. It is so hard to be like, oh, let me think about it. Oh, let me be like, no, this is not the thing. This is the thing. You know, like, it's hard to not be like, this is the answer and I know it and I'm 100% sure, blah, 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 you know, whatever. Like, so being told to talk through your answers is hard. It's really hard. Like, that shit's harder than you think it is. But all in all, I think they all did a great job. And, you know, like, some of the questions are just like, does it suck that Slytherin lost? Does it absolutely suck that Slytherin lost? Yes, it does. It absolutely sucks that Slytherin lost. But, you know what that means? That means the next episode is Slytherin versus Gryffindor. And that episode was great to film. Like, that episode was so much fun. The rivalry on the Slytherin versus Gryffindor episode was so fun. The vibe was just like different from the other episode that we filmed. It was so good. You guys are gonna love it, and I hope it's cut together in the same way, because it was so competitive, because the Gryffindors and the Slytherins, they're both the losers from the previous episodes, right? So whoever wins this episode gets to move on to the finale. And let me tell you, the Slytherins and the Gryffindors, they wanted bad. They wanted so bad. So they are competing like hard for this spot. And it is fun to watch. And I hope it's fun to watch on TV, because it was fun to watch in person. Like, I remember coming out of the episode and being like so excited and so hyped, because it was just like, it was just like giving off like this vibe. I was just like, what is this? Like, what is this like competitive likeness feeling? And it was good. Like, all in all, I loved the Slytherin versus Ravenclaw episode, even though we lost. So I do have to say, congratulations to Ravenclaw. So it was a well-deserved win. You guys absolutely deserve that win. Great job. You guys answered those questions great. Like, the Ravenclaws came and did what the Ravenclaws do, you know, like that was just so Ravenclaw of them. I also want to touch on the diversity regarding the contestants around the show. I thought the diversity around the contestants was amazing. So I really love that Michelle was from Hawaii and she's Asian. I love that Vincent on the Ravenclaw side was Filipino. I love that Louise on the Ravenclaw side was from Scotland. I love that the whole Gryffindor team was black. Like, when you talk about diversity and how diverse the contestants were, there was no denying that all of the contestants were pretty diverse when it came to the show. And I think that says a lot about the Harry Potter franchise and how it has reached people from all walks of life, all races, like everywhere around the world. And like, yeah, these are all people within the US and all US citizens because they were casting only within the US. But given the constraints that they had, they were able to find that diversity within the US as well. And I thought that was amazing. I love that there was that kind of diversity. Do I wish there was a Native Hawaiian person? Yes, obviously I'm a Native Hawaiian person, but whatever, you know, like you can't have everything, right? And I'll take what I can get, and I thought that what they did was awesome. So I can just only hope for better next time. I made it into the top 10 of the Slytherin contestants. It had 6 finalists for the show that was out in LA a week before the show, and then when the show filmed, 3 people made it onto the show to be actual contestants. So while we were getting all seated into the audience, the contestants were being planted into the audience to be chosen. So they were sitting them in different sections of the audience so that they could choose them from the audience. And these 6 people didn't know if they were getting chosen or not, if they were going to play the game or not, until their name was called. So their reactions are genuine reactions. And there was an instance, I think one of the other Slytherin contestants, his name is Brian, and the contestant that made it onto the show, his name was Ryan. So when Helen Mirren like pulled the envelope, read the name, and she said Ryan, Brian thought they said Brian, and the other person stood up and he was excited. And then they had to be like, oh no, it's Ryan. So we had to refilm the whole thing, and Ryan had to, you know, stand up and react to being chosen to be a contestant. And I just feel so bad for Brian. I just can't imagine if they were like, if I thought I had heard my name and I stood up and I was just like, ah! And then it was just like, oh, no, not you. We meant the other Nicole or whatever, you know, like that's just so sad. I would have just like, my gosh, I would have just like sat down and been like, okay. Like that sucks, but yeah, like that's a thing that happened. So then we had to like refilm that whole section. Also, do I feel like that question about what movie do we see them leaving on the Hogwarts Express was wrong? Yes, I do, because that one was confusing, because we do see them leaving in both movies. So come on, like come on. But anyways, it's fine. Okay. Slytherin versus Ravenclaw, like it was a good episode. It was exciting. It was great. Even though we're the losers, even though I'm a sulky Slytherin, it's fine. It's fine, because now we get to compete against Gryffindor, and that should be fun. But what did you guys think of the episode? Like I said, I need to know unbiased opinions, because my opinions are biased. Everyone that I talk to everyone that I talk to has biased opinions because they either know somebody on the show or they know that I was close to being on the show. So I need to know unbiased opinions. I want to know what you guys have to think. Please let me know, because I want to talk about it. And I'm so excited that I finally do get to talk about it, and that this is all finally like out in the open, because I've been wanting to talk about this since April.